Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about procedural textures and how we're going to do them, how we apply them. Again, I haven't rehearsed this tutorial, so if I'm jittery with stuff and make mistakes, just learn from the mistakes that I make, because I can guarantee you everyone makes mistakes. Okay, so I'm in GIMP and I'm just gonna, not procedural textures, seamless textures. And I'm just gonna create a new document. And I'm gonna go down to templates. And I'm just gonna hit up about that size. And I wanna start with a transparent background. Onto this, I'm just gonna add a new layer. And I'm going to render off some plasma. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm going to shall I render? I can't decide. Maybe some lava. Oh, here's a little problem with the GIMP. So no, I did want some plasma. Oh, we're gonna have to render plasma. Here we go. And I'm going to add another layer. And I'm going to render in some lava. This is building to something. This will take a second or so to do. Waiting on renders. Gotta love it. Still waiting on renders. Okay, well, this kind of happens. I'm just gonna open up Blender. And I'm just gonna go ahead and tick over to cycles. Hit into a node editor and get a new node-based material going. Get a glossy material. And just with this cube, I'm just gonna start setting up what we know is the basic texturing stuff, which as always is just some UV coordinates, a texture input, and for what I'm going to do here, just a glossy shader. Okay, so that's done. So now I'm going to go ahead and desaturate that first layer. And I'm going to go ahead and desaturate the second layer as well. Because what I want to create is just a kind of a cracked metal-y surface. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this down until it's somewhere I like. And I kind of like there. Maybe that'll do well for what I'm looking for. So now I'm just going to go image, and I'm going to flatten this here. Okay, now to the seamless part, which is really what I wanted to show you. So if we just take a selection box and just drag out an area here, I think that'll do nicely. And I just want to hit up a curves here, just because I want to get the right kind of hue for that little area there. Now I'm going to go to Filters, Render, and Texture. And then once I move this out of the way to get back here, I'll get this here. And now we get this box come up here, and we get two options: ratio of size of new image to source selection. And that's just basically saying how many times or how much bigger you want to make the texture to the source information. And the other one is make new image edges suitable for seamless styling, which is what we want checked on. So I just keep that checked on there. I'm just going to hit OK. Now this is going to take a little while to solve. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and go back into Blender while that's just churning away, and I'm going to add in a plane, and I'm just going to assign that to material. And with this cube here, I'm just going to tab in and do something interesting. What can we model here very quickly? Oh, I know what we can model. We can just simply bring this up, scale that up a little bit, and add a subdivision surface, get rid of that face there, crease down the edge, and I'm just going to make kind of a cuppy, buckety sort of thing. Let's give that a couple there, set it smooth, add on a solidify, and then add in an edge split just to finish that off there, just so we've got something interesting. I'm just going to tick over to rendered and see how this all looks. I have no idea why they're purple, but there must be a reason. Why are they purple? Okay. It must be some leftover color data in the cache somewhere. Okay, so that's still kind of churning away. So can kind of do a little bit more work on the scene here. So I'm just gonna add some light here. And let's make an emission. And those edges are kind of sharp, so just gonna go and adjust the roughness on the glossy shader. And I'm just gonna add in maybe a magic texture and just drop that into our displacement value, just so that we've got a little bit of displacement there. But I'm not sure that's quite the... So I need to drop in a color ramp. If you don't know, a color ramp kind of allows you to adjust the pardon me, it allows you to kind of adjust how things are working with the displacement. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, so we can see GIMP solved that little puzzle we've given it. And that's kind of, it's going to come out how I thought it would. So we're just going to go ahead and export this. And I want to export this as a... what should I choose? I'm just going to be really traditionalist here and choose a JPEG. And I'm just going to save this to my desktop as seamless text. Just going to export that. It'll take a second to export. Okay, so back inside Blender, I'm just going to open up that file. Okay, so now we need to quickly go ahead and assign our UVs. Okay, so we don't really need this properties window here, so I'm just going to change it to a UV and image editor. Just for the sake of things. So if I go ahead and tick into texture view, or rather material view, we can see that we have now on here a texture. Now, because we did that little process of making it a seamless texture, when we scale up our UVs, we can just scale to add more texture. And this is really good when you need to make something at scale. So if we hit over to rendered view, we can kind of see if we allow it to give another couple of samples, kind of how that's working. And I'm liking it. At the moment, that was what the kind of surface I was going after for this tutorial. So if we go back into wireframe mode and we go into the cup, and I just want to go ahead and I'm just going to unwrap this, and I'm just going to use a smart project on this one because that's just going to give us a little bit more of a neat. Now this will have some seams because it just will round the corners anyway, because there are actually breaks in the UVs, but if you are careful about how you lay out your UVs, you can get rid of those. But that's not really the point of this tutorial, so I'm not gonna really go into that so much. So if we tab out from here and tick into rendered, and this might be of use to you, so I was going to end there, but this might be of use to you if you're working with cycles a lot. One of the good things about one of the things that you can do for one of these kind of textures and cycles, if you've got displacements and stuff, and you just feel that the texture's getting a little bit dark in places, and it's just darker than you'd like. What you can do is you've got a glossy, if you've got a glossy shader there, you can just increase the roughness, which will even it out. But if you don't want to do that, which I don't, if you want to keep the kind of edginess of the texture, what you can do is you can add in a diffuse shader, and then just duplicate these over into the diffuse. And if I add in a mix shader between these two, just link that up, we can see that it just takes some of the edge off the texture and makes it a little bit flat. And if you want to go ahead and add in some highlights back to that, if you add in another mix shader, this is kind of becoming quite a complex node setup here. But anyway, if you add in another mix shader, and I just want to move this to, wait, no, 2.2, and I'm just going to add in a glossy shader. I just want to add in totally white glossy shader, and that brings some of the specularity back into the highlights for this texture. So yeah, that's how to kind of use seamless textures to make cool metallic stuff in GIMP and Blender. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, comment, tell me what you think about the tutorials. I am trying to address the audio issues very much. I've tried a different audio setup today, and I'm not quite sure how it's worked back because I haven't been able to play it back yet, but I'm hoping it's helped a little bit. please let me know if anyone's following these tutorials. Yeah, just feedback is always appreciated, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.